ones that Hoodie had last time.
Oh, your ears are going to get sore, mate.
Right, it's alright. I can handle it. Are we recording?
Yeah, we're into
Into
it.
it.
We're live.
Live.
Fuck, he's got his cup of tea.
All ready to go. What's been happening? How's the training going, Pete?
Yeah, good, good. Getting up at 4 a.m. tomorrow to go run 30 k's around the hill before work.
What?
So yeah, what? That's a good question. But
I
this is the last of it. So after this weekend, I start to taper. So looking
in
forward to it.
preparation for the big event.
Yeah, just sort of resting up. Well, not resting up, but letting the body recover a bit.
What is it that you're doing, Pete?
Tapering. So like the last 8 weeks, I've sort of been averaging between 15 and 20, 21 hours a week training. So,
And the event that you're doing?
God Zone.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
the next,
googled that last night. It said the race is 500 to 700 k's long.
yeah, that's right. I guess it depends on your navigation skills. Yeah, last year was about 700, and this year's meant to be around 500. So, and it's all self navigated.
And you don't
So
have any, yeah, so you have no idea where the course is, just where you start from.
yeah, so found out yesterday it starts in town now. Well, we knew it was going to be somewhere near town now, but the
Yeah.
start line's in town now. And yeah, we get the maps 3 hours before the race starts.
Far out. What time does it
Yeah.
start in the morning?
No, it doesn't start till 3 p.m.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
Yeah, but like the race briefing starts at 6 a.m., then you got to do gear check, and then you get your maps at lunchtime. And then, so it's a pretty busy day.
yeah, I
Far
bet.
out.
Yeah.
All go. What about you,
All
Hoodie?
go.
How's the business life?
Living the dream every day. Nah, it's all good, mate. All good. Pedro's talked me into doing something way out of my comfort zone for next year, so started the training. It's funny. The biggest run on what I'm doing is what Pete's just going to go do in the morning, tomorrow morning.
Are you going to do a half marathon?
No, I'm going to do the coast to coast, hopefully.
Oh,
Mm,
Be a bit of fun.
good on you.
for some people, Peter.
Yeah. And how about yourself, Jimbo? How's your week gone?
Been pretty cruisy, mate. I've been camping
Camping.
just north of Christchurch at Waikuku
Nice one.
Beach. Been brilliant.
Yeah, good weather.
Pretty good weather apart from the day we left. It was raining, so had to
Yes.
pack up a wet tent, bring it home, and then put it back out to dry out. But it's been good. I've been, because I'm going to Aussie to do some flying over there, I've had to get all my license sorted because I've never flown there before. And how we were talking the other day about my IFR license and how I flew without an actual license for a while. I checked my CASA license. They changed the rules in 2014 or something from CAR 5 or whatever to Part 61. I don't even know what, but I was just ringing them to see if I needed to do a BFR before I could fly there, and they said, "Oh well, maybe, but first you need to make sure you've got a license because currently you don't."
All right, but you did have an Australian license, is that right?
Yeah, I did have it. So they
Yeah.
walked through the process. It's just paperwork, but
Yeah.
they followed that up with saying it takes 4 to 6 weeks when they're fully staffed, and at the moment they're not fully staffed.
So they're the same as CAA.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like it's same as everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were they good to work with, like deal with?
Yep,
Yeah.
real good.
Cool.
Yep. So they
Yeah.
said I can get the guy I'm going to go fly for to email in and explain the whole situation that I'm going there to do productive work or whatever you call it, and they can try and bump me up the list.
Cool.
Yeah.
And did you have to do an Australian medical?
Yeah, I did that the other day, and thankfully that was just a class 2, which meant I don't need to do, like I would have had to do a blood test and cardio or a bunch of other things. Yeah. And I'm not as fit as you, Pete, so I might have been struggling on that one. So I've got the class 2 for now, and then
Nice.
I'm going to get the class 1 anyway. It feels a bit weird not having it.
So you can do ag in Australia on a class 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not in New Zealand though, but in Aussie you can, yeah. Have you guys done ag there?
No, like I've got my Australian license like way back in 2007, but I've never flown. I've never used it. Yeah. So I don't know if it's still usable or not. I don't know.
Yeah, it will be. So I did mine about the same time, and I've never still haven't used it. And all you need to do is fill out this paperwork, and I think it only costs like $20.
Yeah.
And it'll update your current license or your old license to the new system.
Yeah, cool. Because did you get an old paper one sent out to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens if you're going from an initial one? Is there much involved with that?
I don't think so. Because, when we were surveying, we had like an ag rating, a New Zealand ag rating, but with a whole list of
conditions.
Yeah, conditions. I sent that into Aussie in 2000 and I think it was 2008 I sent it in, and they gave me an Aussie ag rating, but just under the CAA restrictions.
Yes.
So now changing my license or getting my license updated in Australia, they said, oh, well, so long as your restrictions are removed in New Zealand, which they are, I've got a normal ag rating now, then I've got a normal ag rating in Aussie.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And so in New Zealand, they have spray, top dressing, and VTA. In Australia, if you're spraying, do you have to go do some specific spray training?
Yeah, I had to go. So about a month ago, I flew over to Aussie and did what are they called there? Like a spray safe exam.
Yeah.
I think it was done through the 4As, the Aussie Ag Association something. And that was about pesticides.
Yeah.
And I think it was a 100-question multi-choice exam. Once I passed that, then depending on the state you're flying in, you have to get a state license. And for Queensland, where I'm going, it was just apply to the state government, whatever they're called, and prove that I had passed this exam through the 4As, spray safe, whatever. And then they had one in the mail the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
And that's the same as Canada, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or similar, yeah.
Yeah, Canada. What did I do there? Yeah, but I could. So in Canada was all right because I could do my exam here in New Zealand, the same equivalent exam, and it just had to be at a flight school or something, and send that in. Once that's passed, you're good to go. And you might have, I think, once you're in the country, you can do like a safety course, watch a video pretty much, and answer a couple of questions, and that means you're a better pilot and your insurance rates go down. So I did that as well. But the exam part was good to be able to do it here, because in Australia I had to fly over to Aussie and do the exam there.
Yeah, and the exam you're talking about is the spray one, yeah?
Yeah.
Not the your Canadian CPL.
That's right, just for spraying. Yeah. The CPL was just a straight, in Canada, it was a license validation from memory, and the employer had to prove that they needed a foreign pilot to come and fly for them, and I had to show all my qualifications for my CAA license, and then they gave me a license validation that was valid for either the length of flying I was going to do in Canada or until my medical ran out.
Oh, really? So you can't just go back and fly in Canada. You
No.
have to do that again.
Yep, have to do it again. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So you don't have a Transport Canada license, per se?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. But
Yeah.
I think it's easy enough to do. A mate of mine, he flies over there every season, every year. He's from New Zealand, and he went and just got his license. I think you just do might just be law and then a flight test.
Like a BFR sort of thing?
Oh, I think it's like a proper flight test.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But more substantial, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that's what I've been up to. I hope I get my license in time because I've booked my flight.
What day do you fly out?
I fly out in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long's your first stint over there, Burgess?
To start with, just 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off.
Are you going to come back or just stay over there?
Yeah, I've come back.
3 weeks isn't that long. Like, they'll fly pretty fast, eh?
Yeah. I was thinking I'd originally do month on, month off because that's just the simplest. But Kirsty was pretty keen on doing 3 weeks instead, so I'm not away so long. And
yes,
ultimately, it's still the same amount of time in country.
Yeah,
that's right. Like, if you add it up over 12 months, it's still 6 months away, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've done it so I'll be. It's pretty much 3 weeks on and 2.5 weeks off when you allow for the travel. So I'll be there, being able to fly for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Then come home, but I'd say the girls will probably come over.
Yeah.
For a stint anyway, and just keep working.
Do you know what you're in over there?
Thrush.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've thrown a thrush before?
Yeah, I had a burn in one in China.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that was the 6 week stint in China.
Yeah.
6
weeks there. That was good.
How did you get into that China stuff?
Through the guy who got me into Canada.
Oh.
It was just a fella who I was working with at the time.
Yeah.
And he got into it because he knew someone who was flying in Canada and then didn't want to go. And so rang Glenn up and asked if he wanted to have a burn, which he did, went and made $1 squillion. And then as soon as you're over somewhere like that, you meet other people and you can go have a yarn with them and they're like, oh, do you want to work here or whatever, which is how he got onto the job in China. And because he was going to China, his spot in Canada was free. So he rang me up because I always said I was pretty keen to go and do some work somewhere else. Well, just spraying in general because I hadn't done any. So he hooked me up with that job in Canada. And then the next year he couldn't go to China. I can't remember what, but I was pretty keen to go to China and have a look for something different. Yeah.
Was that a bit of an eye-opener over there?
Yeah, I loved it. It was real nerve-wracking flying the Thrush for the first time because it's just a single-seater plane and it was onto a sealed runway, which you guys would have done a bit of tail wheel time and landed on a sealed runway before.
A little bit grippier.
Yeah, a little bit grippier. It's probably a non-event really, but it's pretty nerve-wracking if you're normally flying a Cresco, which I was, going from that to a tail dragger. And like this company it's the biggest ag outfit in the world. They've got 100 aircraft. I think they had 30 Thrushes from memory, 30 or 35, half a dozen 802s and a bunch of Drometers, and then a whole heap of old Y5s. They look like the Antonov 2, but the Chinese knockoff.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Still flying them, eh?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Still flying them. Yeah, they're cool little things. They're solid as.
They're not little. They're pretty
They're
decent
massive.
size, aren't they?
Yeah. And they hold, I think, 1,300 litres. Like, there's enough... in that plane, they call it Y-Woo. I think Woo must mean 5. Y5. The hopper in there is 1,300 litres, which is about the size of a Fletcher one, just for comparative sake. But you hop in the fuse at the back, and there's a couch there, literally,
Okay.
a sofa, and you walk.
So you can have a cup of tea and a biscuit between loads or something.
Yeah. And you walk around the hopper into the cockpit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's massive, but the seats are tiny. I can't fit in them. They're designed for the smaller stature of the locals.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it mostly locals that they get over there, or is there quite a few foreign or expats or whatever come?
Only locals. And since lockdown, they've no foreigners at all.
Yeah, right.
Bit of a shame. It's cool though. Flying the Thrush is a nice machine, very stable.
Yeah.
I like it.
What do you like compare it to the air tractor? Like that?
I think the air tractor gets off the ground better, but once it's in the air, the Thrush is a lot more stable.
Really? There you go.
Just sits so much nicer there, whereas the air tractor is almost, I know you take your hands off and it wanders straight away.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
I've only done a very small amount of time in the air tractor, but I found it very, very, very touchy compared to, say, the Cresco or the XL.
Yeah. So what did you think flying, because how many hours did you do for the rating and
all of 5 hours? I did like a bit of it was solo, but I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, but yeah, great visibility. Like like when you're flying, it's pretty cool.
It's surprising, isn't it? Because at tail wheel, you'd think you wouldn't see bugger all, but it's a lot better than, I think it is, than the Cresco and the XL.
Oh yeah, definitely way better when you're flying. I did find it pretty busy landing, taking off. But again, it's been years since I've flown a tail wheel, so that was always going to be like that. Yeah,
totally.
And not bouncing like I'm bouncing up and down on the runway, but like when it was taxiing, you're sort of bobbing a bit.
Yeah. I remember I was working off one strip, and that was with Dunk as well. He was loading and I was flying, and the strip just, every landing I felt like I was smashing my head against the top of the cockpit and getting bashed around, and I thought, man, I haven't done a single good landing. And Dunk must have known that. He took a video of it and he showed me. He's like, it's nowhere near as bad as what you think. It feels a lot worse.
Yes.
But actually from the outside looking in, it's just cruising along.
Really? Yeah. You just bounce around inside.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
A little shaker can. Have you flown a tractor or anything, Hoodie?
No, I wanted to do my rating, but the air career sort of stopped before I got round to it. So no, just the 185s and Cubs and stuff, really.
Oh yeah, I heard the 185s are pretty good. I've never flown them.
Good fun.
Have you flown the 180 and a 185?
No, just the 185. Yeah.
Also heard the 180s are better. Got nothing to back that up. Never flown either.
Yeah, I've flown both, and to be honest, I couldn't tell you. I haven't done enough flying in either one to really like one or the other.
Yeah,
but I did hear like someone had told me, when everyone went from the 180s to 185, top dressing wise, they found the 180s better.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wonder why. Maybe it's lighter.
Yeah.
Well, you've flown the 300 Fletcher.
Yes, no hopper though.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Have you flown a 400?
No, I haven't. Have you?
That's what you did your rating in, eh, Burgess?
Yeah, 400. Yeah. Haven't flown a 300.
You should come over one day.
Yeah,
Over to come down to Waira.
totally.
Yeah. You went flying in it, eh, Sam?
Oh, just for a ride with you, I think. But
Yeah.
Oh, so Sean still got that, eh? Who flies it now?
Yeah. Simon does a lot of flying.
Oh, does he?
Sean messaged me a month ago. He's like, I'll come down and go for a fly. But I think after Godzone I might do that, go down in March.
Yeah.
March, April's always a nice time to go flying, isn't it?
Sure is.
Totally.
Yeah.
Any time's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a burn in all of those old planes. Same with the Beavers. I've only heard good things about the Beaver.
Yeah, it must have been hard top dressing in them. Like, not like the noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same, like, speaking to the old fellas that from back in the day, what we say of the XL and the Cresco, that's what they were saying of the 400. They were like, man, we got this brand new Fletcher 400 horsepower and we were just smashing all the way up and down these hills, and I'm thinking, what?
Yeah. We were smashing up the hills.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it makes you think, what the next sort of aircraft will be.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's it will be interesting, and whether it'll be the Crescos and XLs. Oh well, the XL with the what's that new engine going in it?
Yeah, but it's 850 horsepower derated to 750 max continuous, but it's got the bigger prop.
Yeah.
I momentarily spoke to the test pilot. Must have been late last year sometime, and it sounds pretty impressive.
Yeah,
he liked it, eh?
Oh, I loved it. And like what he was telling me was like, oh, it didn't make sense. But when you sort of think about the bigger propeller, and it's just putting more airflow over, it's got a bigger disbursement, and it just makes all the difference. Same horsepower, but he was saying for pound, so carrying the same weight, you'd go faster, burning less fuel.
Shivers.
Yeah.
Well, I'd back that up with some of the Crescos that I've flown, and they had the standard Cresco prop, which is that fat one with almost a flat edge at the tip.
Yep.
And then they put the XL prop on it, which was a couple of inches longer per paddle, and it was a different aircraft.
Yeah.
So exact same
about
engine.
different, eh?
Yeah, like you could take off on a strip, and where you would normally take off and you'd go around a tree, all of a sudden you're taking off and turning inside it.
Shit, is that right?
Yeah, it'd just pull away. So amazing how just that one little difference. So it's the exact same engine. I think it might have to be a 2000 RPM prop or something.
Yeah.
To compensate or whatever it was, and maybe it's been a while, I'm only guessing, but the torque, instead of going 64 psi, might be 57.
All right.
Something like that.
Pull it down. Yep.
Yeah. I could have those numbers completely wrong, but...
Yeah, because... Well, I always... God, it's been that long since I've flown the Cresco, but I thought that was 60 psi, and the XL's definitely 64 psi.
It could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the ones I flew were the analog, which was in...
Foot per pound.
Yeah. Which was, I think it was 19 or...
1200, I think, wasn't it? Oh, 2200 you're sitting at for the Cresco with the shorter prop.
Yeah, the prop. Yeah, I'm talking about the torque.
Oh, sorry.
The torque, those older ones. I think some of the old...
Wasn't it 54?
That's max continuous.
No. Yeah, but that's in PSI. We're talking about foot per pound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the older gauges were the steam ones, the actual dial and they went they were in foot pounds or whatever it was.
Yeah, I can't remember. But you'd always, with the RPM, you'd always rather the 2200 just for that street credit. I'd rather go round the tree.
Oh, well, you go out 22. Yeah. Oh, I'm only 2,000. Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Are you compensating?
Yeah.
Do you not remember standing on the airstrip when you're little, and when the 2200 RPM took off down the strip, you could actually feel it rattle the bones in your body.
It had hell of a bark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Whereas now the 602, that's at full RAR is 1700 RPM.
Yeah. It's quiet. I saw it take off the other day from up here in Gizzy.
Yeah.
And as soon as it goes past you can't really hear it.
Yeah.
Sort of the noise is gone.
It's almost disappointing.
Yeah. Why would you bother, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 point whatever ton in there, but it sounds like it's doing nothing.
It keeps all the the lifestyle blockers happy, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, it does.
Picking my words correctly, am I?
Carefully.
Very carefully. Yes.
No, very interesting. But yeah, what would you have changed anything in your career pathway if you could, when you're thinking about first starting out, getting a loader driving job to be a pilot? Like, would you have changed by getting a student loan, or done things quicker or slower?
So I did get a student loan. So I started loader driving at 19, a CPL, essentially. But I also had an $85,000 student loan. And so back then, I always sort of regretted it, but I should have gone loader driving and paid off my license as I went. But to be honest, it worked out pretty well for me, because when the flying job did come up, I was ready to go. And I was able to pay my loan back relatively quickly. So I wouldn't want to be dragging it out and paying it off years and years and years, decades. But
So was that your loan, 85 grand?
85 grand. They got me a CPL and a multi-IF.
Yeah, I think I got a loan as well. I think mine was 43 or 45 grand. That was just a straight CPL.
Yeah.
I already had my PPL at that stage, so I had an extra couple of grand left over, and then used that to get a cub rating and aerobatics.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So you'd do it the same way?
I think so. Like, if I was to recommend a young guy now, I'd probably tell him to go loading and pay it off, or at least get your PPL and work towards your CPL. Yeah, no, I would recommend it still. We got I work for a helicopter company, and we've got a couple of young guys who are, loading us and saving up and paying for flying as they go, sort of thing. And they're building it, like that loader driving's an apprenticeship, really, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So you got to do it.
And there's lots of different ways you can skin that cat, with even maybe getting someone like-minded like yourself and you're better off to go buy a cheap plane together, and then do your license that way whenever you're not loading, because there is a lot of downtime if ag flying is your destination where you want to get to. Because like you said, Pete, once you do get there, the money's pretty good, so the loan doesn't matter, or whatever you owe.
Yeah. Because you paid as you went, didn't you?
I did, but I was pretty looked after by Andy.
Yeah.
So it was sort of, I was looked after, but obviously working, so I never got the money given to me. It was just sort of, you've done enough to for me to give you a few hours now, so you'll do it that way. But,
So
But
how?
get overtime sort of stuff. You do a bit
oh
of extra
shit, yeah. What was
overtime,
I?
and
12, 6 years loaded driving, yeah.
What did you have when you started? A PPL or nothing?
I had level 1 NCA, level 1 by 4 credits.
Oh,
Whoop, whoop.
shit. We didn't even have
So-
that when I was at school.
no, me neither. I had school cert.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll explain it to you. It's pretty
Okay,
bad. It's pretty bad.
Is that you explaining it? It's just
Yeah,
pretty bad.
it's
That's
pretty
it.
bad. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
passing your year by 4 credits, that's pretty. It's getting in, really.
Pass is a pass,
Yeah.
though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Totally.
But no. I left at fifth form when started working for Andy, so she was straight
when
to the
did-
broom.
When did you start flying? Like, how long did you load before you did your first flight, or in your logbook?
You mean to start training or?
Yeah.
All of it.
All of it.
Oh.
So when was the first time you put entry in your logbook as a flight?
Entry in my logbook, I was like 12 or something. But
Oh, really?
yeah, you get a half hour from your grandparents. It didn't,
Yeah.
it was more going for a scenic, really. They pulled the piss and didn't start doing any of the syllabus.
Yeah. Gotcha. And you did it in Gizzy, eh?
Yeah, all in Gizzy at just there. And then once Andy, through the Kiwi Air and stuff, he brought on an instructor and stuff, so I started doing it through Farmers Ear once that came on, and did all the private license through Farmers Ear, and then on to the next thing and did the commercial, and then did the instrument rating, and then yeah.
I remember flying as a safety pilot with you. Was it in a Mooney?
That's right. Yeah, that's what we did the instrument rating in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
No, the Mooney.
The Ute was a Bonanza.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But but they're all good options. Whatever gets you there in the end.
I think the key thing is attitude and that drive and passion.
Yeah.
That's what regardless how you do your flying, as long as you've got that sort of right attitude and that drive.
Yeah.
100%. So, do you agree with a lot of the people would say if you want to get into ag, you need a farming background? You need that?
No. Not at all.
So funny you say that, because I wanted to get into ag and didn't have a farming background. Like I grew up on a nursery just outside of Invercargill, but I wasn't a farmer. Never lived or worked on a farm. The first ag pilot company I phoned up, it said you'll never be an ag pilot. You don't grow up on a farm, and that was it. Cut me off. And then because I drove around the country knocking on doors. So I started in Invercargill and I got as far as Gisborne. And
before you got a yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, you didn't really get a yep though, did you, Pete? Did you get a? It was something else.
Andy, he it was a 3-day interview process. Like why do you want to be an ag pilot? How do you know you even want to be an ag pilot? You don't have I didn't even have I think I had just got my full car license, so I couldn't get a truck license, so I couldn't load from it at the time. And so got a bit of a drilling, but then I got the job. But then he's like, you won't touch your airplane for at least 4 years. We won't let you fly. So, and I was fine with it. I was just happy to go loader driving. I was keen just to, be around it all.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, and then I became an ag pilot. So I don't think What do you guys reckon?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
100%. I mean, I'm the same as you, Pete. I haven't got a farming background. I grew up in a small town, which I milked that. Bulls only has 1,500 people. So I was like, I'm from a little farm town, Bulls. And if they ask questions about farming, I'll just try and ignore it or something. I can't remember that.
You do learn it all.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And even good friend of mine who flies now up north, he's from Auckland.
Yeah.
And if you ask anyone, someone from that city would never make it. But he's just got the right attitude and just wanted to do it. And I think he only knew about top dressing after he had his license or something.
Really?
He might have seen a plane or a top dressing plane or something along those lines. He might be able to confirm this later, but he went and asked what's this about and did some loading and then thought, oh, this would be all right. Got it and then got trained up. A spot must have come open. Got trained up and now he's perfect. Just keen as, and you can learn absolutely everything about the job.
Have you got the right attitude, you can't you? Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's such an old school mentality, that one, isn't it? There's a few things like that in the industry still lingering around, but
I think it's slowly going, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, it has to, as the next bloody crew sort of comes in and with a different way of looking at things. But
totally. Did it help though, Hoodie? Because you're from a farm. Once you were flying, did the knowledge you had from coming from a farm help you with any of it?
Oh, I don't think so. I think the idea, well, for Andy, the idea of you coming off the farm is the idea that you would be more practical, just because farming is a hands-on job. So you go out and you do this and you do that with your dad because you had to. That was everything. But I don't see any difference between that and Pete going out and helping in the nursery like that. It's not so much what you're doing, but it's just going out there and doing it and having a set job and finishing it. And then, like you say, anything can be learned. So, what's it called? Grafting two plants together is just the same as putting a busted pipe back together. And seeing through that job, doing it, learning it. It's all just a process, which is the whole thing that flying's about. So
that's right. Yeah.
Totally.
So don't see any real benefit to it. The only thing that really I think it got me was more frustrated watching loader drivers trying to help me chase sheep off the airstrip, and you're just wondering what the fuck they're doing running in front of the sheep. The gate's over there. They're running around in front of them.
Well, sometimes you get that one little sheep. Actually, you saw that, Hoodie, when you flew over, I think.
Yeah.
There's always one sheep that won't listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that day I was working up in Gisborne and Burgess had moved in. You were the competition, weren't you? Were you competition or were you working? Yeah.
Yep,
was that Ravenstown?
Nah.
Oh, Super.
The Bluebirds.
Super duper.
Yeah.
And we were working together, and I knew that around where Burgess was, there was those high tension power lines up the coast there. And every load I was flying, I'd go out there and I'd see Burgess sailing across the horizon. And then I didn't see him for a couple of loads, couldn't get him on the radio. I was like, fuck. So I quickly shot over there to the airstrip, came over the thing, and it's a big ridge, so as soon as you bust over the ridge, you're basically straight over the airstrip sort of thing. And I busted over the airstrip, and here's fucking Burgess and his loader driver running around in circles trying to chase this lamb. As I can see, they just about had it to the gate, and it would shoot straight back up the fence line again. But yeah.
Yeah, that was quite frustrating. It took, I think, 45 minutes.
No.
The sheep was literally probably 10 metres, 5 metres away from the gate. So we opened it up and it just would not go in there. We'd go back we weren't silly about it. I was just standing way back away and in the right spot to nudge him there. But no, No, I'm going to zoom past you.
I'm sorry, we'll have to take back completely everything I said about not having to be a farmer to be an egg pilot, because clearly, if you can't get a lamb for a fair game, that's fucking 5 metres away.
The operation comes to a standstill, doesn't it, pretty fast? Stopped by one little lamb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Yeah. No, but that's all part of it, isn't it? Bloody God, how many times did you, come in the morning and fly over the strip and there's bloody 500 lambs or ewes
Yeah.
bloody sitting there chewing away. And then the worst part is that you know that if you do ring up the farmer and get them to clear the strip, then that's you that night just cleaning fucking sheep shit off your plane for the next hour.
Not as bad as cow shit.
Yeah.
Nothing like an exploding cow patty, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would get, like, the splats would go forward, even in the air tractor. So in a nose wheel plane, you can sort of understand, but in an air tractor, you can land, and you'll get all up the nose will be cow shit.
Yeah, because as the wheel rolls, it's pushing the pressure forward.
Yeah, but even when you're going fast, it must be.
It does push us forward faster.
Yeah. Which to me is, that blows my mind.
Oh, maybe old Burgess is just pulling fucking heaps of reverse and it's bloody sucking it all forward.
Got it on the back of a prop.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Good
I think
fun.
the worst is when a cocky steps in it and then steps on the seat.
Oh, it gets in the plane, yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, had that.
I used
It's
to
been
think
pretty good, though.
I used to think when I started, that was the cool part of the job. You get to go around and take the cocky with you and get them to show, you get to show someone what you get to do. And then it all came in, those the Met My Farm and stuff, so you never had to take anyone with you. And then when someone did have to come with you because they couldn't drive the technology, you just like, fucking hell, I've got to take someone with. That's half an hour out of my productive day, and it's how much it all changes over the years.
I love the old days of the maps, though. Like, there's one guy rocked up and he had a map on a wooden base that was, it was about 1.5 meters by 1 meter, and it was a aerial photograph from 1970.
One of those old school fucking pre-bowler ones.
Yeah, and he's like, here you go, here's the map, we got a map for you. And I was like, oh no. And then he's like, oh, now that's all forestry here, and that fence is gone here, and there's a slip here, and I'm like, oh.
What about the ones when they bloody hike up their pants and then crouch over and start drawing it in the gravel?
I had one on a Wheat Bix box. Like, he'd torn the Wheat Bix box apart, got some crayons, and drawn the net with crayons on the box. It worked, but it wasn't. Not to scale.
I had one farmer talk to me in chains. That's an old unit of measurement. He's like, like
a fence chain,
30 chains long, and I was like, what? And he's going, back in the day, a length of chain by the blacksmith was always cut at whatever length. So, shit, what?
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, there's some crackers. You get up in the air and it's like, oh, it looks different from up here.
Yeah. I had one that the farmer was too scared to go flying, didn't want to go, so his daughter's coming, took the daughter up, and she showed me the first half of the farm. She's like, oh, actually, I've never been as far back in the farm. Okay, so, and like, we didn't have a map, and it's like, where does the fence line go? And she's like, yeah, I don't know, I've never been down here. Okay. Good.
Jeepers.
Yeah.
Good.
No, but old GPS mapping tools does make it easier.
Yeah,
it does.
Sure does.
Yeah. And even getting to the job, I don't know how guys used to just fly from even in Gizzy, where's the far out places you go? No, you get used to the areas, but
Yeah.
for me, being in somewhere new, which back then you'd always have someone helping out in a different area.
Yeah.
Trying to find the airstrip and land at the right one and know it's the right one and having to do map reading all the way. I think half of the pilots, when I was loading, they used to have just a road map for driving.
Yes. Yeah.
And all the airstrips were marked on that, and they'd follow the roads because they knew the roads when they were coming to a new area.
Yeah, when I first started, I was told to go down to, was it AA? And go buy the AA maps, so the best maps to use.
I've still got mine somewhere with all the airstrips that I used to load at.
Yeah, me too. Bit tattered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've even got my old Sudoku book from when I was loading too.
Oh, right.
I pull that out every once in a while and do another one.
Do ya?
Just for old time's sake.
Yeah. You think back to Ian Titzel, he was our operations manager back when me and you were going, Pete. They had to be bang on with all the directions, so it would have probably just been because they had to give good directions.
Yes.
That they did. So
yeah,
which is I remember when I was loading there's that airstrip, and it's got a real long bin, and you tip off from the top, and it's got like three doors to tip in, and the airstrip's real steep, and now it's concrete.
Tangy How?
Yep, Tangy How. And it's like a 40-minute drive from the road end to the airstrip.
Yeah.
I remember getting directions to that, and I made it there, but shit, I don't know how. Given you go to the yards or the wool shed at whatever and turn left there, and at this gate there'll be 2 gates. Don't take that one. Go this way.
Yeah.
He did bloody well to get us all where we needed to go.
Yeah. Was Titty there when you were there?
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because it was back in. You would have been still loaded driving.
Yeah.
You and I started the same time, Hoodie.
Yeah, that's right.
Pete was already off in Africa somewhere.
Yeah, with jungle fever probably.
Was that 2007 or 8?
7.
It must have been 7.
Yeah, I think it was January I started. But how come, Hoodie, if you started when I started, but you said you were 15 when you first started there, or did you not start the same time?
I was definitely there before you.
Ah, and same.
You did like Did you do like a school program there when you were 15?
Yeah, I started doing Gateway. Doing Gateway on Fridays while I was there at fifth form, but then just started at the end of fifth form. But I have to go, lads. The kids are bloody all stewing, so.
Oh no.
Yeah. But all right.
Well, good talking to you, so.
We'll continue
you fellas too.
Next week.
Yeah.
See you then.
Are you guys off as well, or are you?
We might as well. We'll carry on next week or whenever it is we continue this.
All right, boys. Now, sorry to cut that short. Or bloody.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Just reminiscing, really.
Yeah.
I better help Eli. She's giving me hand signals.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
You do.
Better go.
Thanks.
All right, boys.
All right.
Have a good one.
Hey. See ya.
Bye.